The AOC says the Biden White House should ignore the abortion pill decision. Show Subtitle Hide Subtitle Abortion Pill Decisions in TX, D.C. Backlash from Vice President Harris. Vice President Kamala Harris addressed Texas federal judges ruling on the legality of abortion pill mifepristone. The Riddle of Anastasia, Associated Press. New York Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez has urged President Joe Biden's administration to ignore a Texas federal judge's decision to suspend approval of mifepristone, a common abortion pill. The executive branch has discretion to enforce sanctions, Ocasio Cortez told CNN State of the Union, describing the decision as a mockery of our democracy and our laws. This decision is an extreme abuse of power. This is an extraordinary example of judicial extremism, said Ocasio Cortez. Could Biden ignore the Texas decision? Ocasio Cortez isn't only Democrat to say the White House should ignore resolution. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden said Friday he believes Biden administration and the Food and Drug Administration have authority to ignore this decision. The FDA, doctors, pharmacies can and should go about their business as if nothing has changed. They must keep mifepristone accessible to women in America. Otherwise, the consequences of banning the most common abortion method in every state will be devastating, he said. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra did not rule out the possibility of ignoring the court's decision. Chaos and confusion. Abortion rights advocates in the U.S. speak out after recent failure. Everything is on the table. That's what the president said when the Dobbs verdict was announced. Becerra said on CNN's State of Union that every option was on the table, referring to Supreme Court's abortion decision last year. It's unclear whether Biden administration will go this far and ignore the ruling, given that Justice Department has already filed an appeal and a judge in Washington made a contradictory decision. But according to Jessica Waters, professor of reproductive rights law at American University, there is a possibility that she will ignore the decision. While decision suspends FDA approval of mifepristone, it does not force the FDA to enforce decision. The FDA in the executive branch has the power to enforce it. So they decide whether to go after someone who distributes or manufactures, for example, mifepristone, Waters told USA Today. At same time, Waters said that ignoring the decision was politically risky, pointing out that it could set a precedent for future presidents to do same and ignore adverse court orders. While Justice Department has already filed an appeal, Waters said it is unlikely that the Biden administration will decide to outright ignore Texas decision. Ocasio Cortez argued that Trump administration has in past ignored judiciary while continuing reject new applications despite Supreme Court blocking for childhood arrival for Deferred Action program, which provides protection to undocumented immigrants brought United States as children. The Trump administration's efforts to dismantle the program. The courts have confidence in the legitimacy of their decisions, said Ocasio Cortez. We know that the executive branch has enforcement discretion, especially in light of a contradictory decision coming out of Washington. U.S. District Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk, a Trump-appointed judge in Texas, has issued a ruling stopping Federal Drug Administration from approving mifepristone, potentially blocking nationwide access to abortion, the most common abortion method in the United States. The two conflicting rulings mean issue will almost certainly go Supreme Court, making it first major abortion case to appear in Supreme Court after overturning constitutional right abortion last summer. Is the abortion pill mifepristone still available? As of now, mifepristone is available for at least 7 days after the decision. The Justice Department said on Friday it will appeal Kacsmaryk's decision to the 5th Division and request a temporary stay to suspend the decision. This isn't America, Becerra said on CNN State of the Union. What you see by judge, in that court, in state, is not America. America acting with evidence, America fair, America doing what transparent, and we can show that we are for the right reasons. AOC Supreme Court could impose national abortion ban if Texas ruling is upheld. If Supreme Court upheld Kacsmaryk's decision and blocked access to drug abortion, Ocasio Cortez left door open on whether Biden administration should ignore Supreme Court. Ocasio Cortez, Roe v. Noting that many states have banned abortion after the Wade case was overturned, he said, if the Supreme Court does that, it will essentially impose a national abortion ban. I hope we don't get to that point, Ocasio Cortez continued. But once we do, I believe we need to start pushing back our system of checks and balances, which was designed to rebuff if there were an example of judicial tyranny and judicial excess.